I finally got into a retro game store the other day. Had actually a lot of money with me, anticipating the good old days of browsing and just buying stuff I find interesting, not just ordering what I researched before. And I had around €140 worth of games. The store didn't have any of the more expensive games I was looking for, but the owner saw I was willing to spend some money. So at one point I asked about the PS1 games, especially Spyro. The PAL release fell back to around €20 online after being a bit higher a few years ago. But that guy told me it would be €120 for the game. I was like, look, eBay has it SIB for €15–30, depending on OG release and Platinum. I am fine with paying a bit more in a store because I saw the condition of the game. And he was, no, my games are new, not used. You can't compare prices with eBay. We were in a used game store. The game was opened, not sealed. He showed me how little scratches there are. New? Are you kidding me? I did not buy it, of course. I asked for a few more games, but he began to look them up on the net and basically add an X2 modifier to every price, telling me some bullcrap MCBS story each time. Like, all Sonic games are worth a ton because people buy Sega in masses. Dude, not even the Genesis Sonic is very expensive. He even tried to explain to me that the stack of games I was buying would be double that because there was one GameCube game in there. X-Men Legends 1, isn't really expensive, even on the GC. One day later another store just gifted me Gran Turismo 3 because I was buying some cheap games there. No bullshit stories. Just if you happy, leave a good review on Google. Which I did. Another great story. I once bought in Saturn, back during the release time of the 360. It sadly did not work and I could not get Daytona to run on it. I went back to the store and that guy tried to repair it first for more than 2 weeks. I feared I was getting ripped off, but after a while he just gave me a Dreamcast with code Veronica instead. He asked if I was fine with that. Of course. Back then the Saturn plus Daytona was €50. What a steal that would be nowadays, and the Dreamcast, being newer, was €90. So nowadays this would be kinda a bad deal, but at the time it was extremely cool and almost doubling the worth of my purchase, and that guy got a lot more money from me over the years XD. I went to my local games shop back in the day when I wanted to cash in my NES. He literally offered me $2 CDN for it. Luckily, even though I was just a kid, I was smart enough to decline that offer. At least that same games shop has a warm place in my heart for other reasons. I remember them having Command & Conquer on 2 TVs with linked PSXs. Super cool at the time. And buying GT2 on release day. Those days were special. I don't have any outrageous game store stories. I pretty much get what I expect in there. The big store in another city 1 hour away from me charges eBay prices plus shipping plus 10% at least, so I rarely buy from him. He does have a lot of stuff and makes deals on accessories like controllers and cords, so that's nice sometimes. Disc Traders is annoying because they charge top dollar even if the game is missing the case, no distinction between a complete game and a loose game. Good story, for me. One time I bought some PS2 games and got GTA, Vice City Stories, complete, for just a few dollars. I realized after I got home it was marked as the regular GTA, Vice City on the receipt. I like to stop at game stores whenever I'm in a new place and have found a few good deals, like a good price on a GBA Micro, other occasional good deals. One store I found recently is a wealth for repair parts. Place looked more like a Radio Shack than a game store, had small parts and components, reasonably priced. On pegboards, you could find just about any part for most consoles in there. In 2009 I stopped in at one of my favorite game stores in Victoria, BC. The sign on the door said store closing sale. I asked the owner if he wanted to sell all his NES stuff to me. We came to a price of $1,200. I paid with my credit card and we started to gather it all up. 5 garbage bags later and my GF's van was stuffed. Once home it took me a few days to sort out. I got about 700 games, many controllers, guns, consoles, etc. I got about 400 individual games mini-boxed and the rest was duplicates. It contributed almost 300 new games to my collection, putting me over 600 when I decided to start collecting a little over 10 years ago. I bought a loose copy of Chrono Trigger and Link to the Past on eBay, didn't even own a SNES. Went into my local retro game store, wandered for a while, was talking with the owner and told him I wanted a SNES. Wanted an extra controller and was going to buy a game too. Price was a little more than I wanted to spend, but the owner was nice, so I grabbed a cheap copy of NBA Jam 2 instead of a more expensive game. As he was ringing me up, I was saying I grew up as a Genesis kid and never had a SNES. He tried to upsell me on getting Super Mario World to go with it, but then out of nowhere he said, "No, I'm not trying to sell you this game. I'm telling you I'm not letting you buy a SNES from me without SMW. I'm just giving it to you." I was so happy. Loved that store, always told everyone to go, and spent way more than the $15 SMW he gave me over the years.